Welcome back to my channel. So today I have an excited content, which is to do my top 20 favorite in the 72nd Miss Universe competition. So for the record, I am a Filipina and I have been a pageant fan since the Venus Ra era, because ever since then, the Philippines have had consistent placement in the top 20 and have gotten 2 crowns since then. So, simula nun, starting from there, like, the Filipinos was really aroused from the grave, and they are back to being Miss Universe fans because of that. So, I was very young that time, I remember, because my mom owns salon, and there's a lot of people there watching, and I was watching with them, and I really love the enthusiasm and the passion of this community in this hobby. We call this hobby. So ayun, recently I've been so invested in following this competition, and I have been posting about it, and I have joined group chats, just to find out more about it, to have sneak peeks, to have teas, drama, and everything in this competition. But yeah, so today my friends asked, after the preliminary competition, who are my top 20 favorites. So without further ado, I'm going to let you have a sneak peek of what's in my mind and what's my opinion about the my favorite candidates. And these candidates that I'm going to mention earlier, my personal basis of picking them as my top 20 favorites would be their preliminary competition performance, which is their evening gowns and their swimsuits and their presentation of themselves, plus their advocacy. Because this year, the 20th century Miss Universe are really serious about advocacy, of having a transformational Miss Universe leader. So she's going to be the face of Miss Universe, but also the voice of Miss Universe, and she's going to be speaking. The one who will get the crown really needs to also have it in herself to advocate for change. That's why I really made sure that I add up in my top 20 favorite advocacy. So without further ado, so I'm going to tell you my top 20 favorites, and I'm gonna start from my top 20, from my least favorite to my most favorite. So yeah, from my top 20, I have Dominican Republic. She's very beautiful. I remember her blue gown, and she walks so light in her gown, and I really love that. That's one of the best gown presentation evening gown presentation earlier. But apart from that, she didn't really give anything, because her energy from the evening gown matched with her swimsuit, which feels like it's not appropriate. And I've also have not heard about her advocacy, because I only followed the advocacy of the top 10 silver finalists. So yeah. Another is Chile. Chile actually has really good advocacy, and although I didn't really feel her much in her performance, but if she upped her performance, and because she's really beautiful, she's her ideas, her communication skills is there, so she has potentials. And there's Pakistan, but Pakistan is really beautiful. I remember her evening gown, the white one with with the veil, and she looks like a goddess in that dress. And although she has like your swimsuit competition, because she's pushing for modest fashion, it didn't really strike much, so I don't think so. And even her advocacy, I have not heard about it. So yeah. Another would be Thailand. So this is going to be controversial because I only put her in the top 20 and not in my most favorite, because let's admit it, Thailand is one of the most popular candidates, and she is overhyped for a reason because she already won Miss Grand International. But it's just that she was overpowered in the preliminaries. I think she could push for more. I think because her Miss Universe Thailand performance energy is a lot better than the energy that she gave in the Miss Universe preliminary competition earlier. So she still has more to give. So I'm hoping that she's keep it together, girl. You got this. If she rocked the finals and national costume competition, I think she's gonna get a higher placement compared to my top 20 favorite. So I'm rooting for you, and we're neighboring countries, so I hope that you keep it together, girl. Another is India. India is really beautiful. She's so beautiful. She looks like a former Miss Universe Pia works back. Maybe it's just the styling that I didn't really like, and because she did well in her evening gown, it's just that the evening gown is not giving. Stop. And I didn't really heard about her. It wasn't her advocacy. It's not really much compared to the other candidates. And we have Mauritius. I put her in the top 20 because she's my dark horse in this competition, because she's the least favorite, maybe least favorite. You haven't heard much about her, but she walked gracefully on that stage, both in evening gown and in swimsuit competition. So she's a dark horse, guys. I put Colombia as well in my top 20. She's Colombia. She did well in her swimsuit and evening gown, but not really in my advocacy. I don't really have much to say. Just nothing memorable. There's also Peru. I think it's more of her advocacy that I like, and her evening gown. So yeah. And we have Myanmar. Wow. Ang ganda ng her evening gown was giving. I love it. I love the concept, and she's very beautiful. And we also have Indonesia. It's like one of the most polished Indonesia candidate this past few years. So go, girl. For my top 10, we have Puerto Rico, she did well in the swimsuit competition, and she's in the powerhouse, so it's really expected that she really does well with her passerella. So another is, wow, this one, Nepal. Nepal is like a sentimental favorite because of her advocacy for inclusivity, in terms of body inclusivity. So she's a good representation of the majority of women, and she is really confident with her body. That's why I really love her, especially in the Miss Universe swimsuit competition. She really rocked it. So yeah. Oh, of course, we have Mexico. She's part of the powerhouse beauty pageant. That's why she's trained and polished with her walk and her charisma as well. So that's why I put her in my top 10. Mexico. USA, another powerhouse. So she did well for me in the swimsuit competition, but didn't really give it much in the evening gown, and I have not heard about her advocacy. So that was it. And then for my top 10, this is another dark horse. We have Angola. Angola really did well in her evening gown. She's very graceful, very beautiful, and her advocacy was spot on. She's talking about food security, and in order to provide food security, they're going to teach farming and provide vertical garden in each schools that they built, and this food in the vertical garden will be used to feed the students. So it's like circular, sustainable. So that's why I really love her advocacy. Yeah, so way to go, Angola. I love it. And for my top 5, we have Venezuela. She is one to beat because she's from the powerhouse of Venezuela. Expected her passerella and her charm is up there. And she did well in the evening gown and the swimsuit competition, but I really didn't see her advocacy, so good luck, girls. And then we have Brazil. Yeah, Brazil. Brazil did well in her swimsuit, and she's also spot on in terms of advocacy. So I love this girl. I love this girl's advocacy. She is one to beat in terms of communication skills. In her advocacy video, she was even doing sign language because her advocacy is for the mute and deaf community, and to create an application for them, so communication with this community would be easy. And this advocacy and project is really sustainable and can be replicated across the globe. The access is boundless. And yeah, now comes my top 3 favorites. So my top 3 favorites in no particular, maybe there's particular order. Yeah, so my top 3 would be Nicaragua. Nicaragua is so beautiful, so graceful, so charismatic. Her passerella was spot on. It's her strength. She walks gracefully, and she did well both in the evening gown and the swimsuit. But she kind of fell through with her advocacy. But I like her advocacy. She's talking about herself, her anxiety disorder, and that mental health is something that needs to be accessible for people. But she's not really out there with advocacy yet. I don't think that it's sustainable. up until at this point. With I think she's on the planning stage of this project, but yeah, she really fell short with her advocacy. That's why she's not my top 1 favorite. And yeah, and then comes my top 2 favorite. It's, guess what? Drum roll. It's South Africa. South Africa is so beautiful, guys. It's bronze in her body. She's a walking bronze, and then she's wearing bronze swimsuit, and she's walking like that. She's so strikingly beautiful, and her passerella did well. She did well in the passerella, but she's not as charming as Nicaragua, but she did well in her swimsuit. But her evening gown, I don't like the gown. I like how she carried it. But her advocacy is really nice as well. She's a lawyer, by the way, by profession, and her advocacy is about women empowerment and human rights for women who are abused and raped and murdered in South Africa. It's really a heavy topic that she's pushing forward. That's why I really love her, because it takes really courage to fight for justice in this accord, in a male-dominated industry, which is law, and then you're fighting for the rights of women pa. So yeah, hats off South Africa for this. So she has the potential na makahawak on the final for me. And of course, last but not the least, my top 1 favorite, no other than Michelle Marquez D. Filipinas! Oh my God. I'm a Filipina, and I love the representative of Filipinas this year because, 1, she rocked her edgy look, and she is consistent from the very beginning with what she wants and how she wants to deliver it. And it really shone through in the finale when she walked with Edge and Kat, and you can feel the Kat feeling energy when she was walking in that red swimsuit, and her long-legged legs and her evening gowns. I'm like, chef's kiss. I love it. I mean, I don't understand why people was hating her evening dress and evening gown, because for me, that's very fashion forward. Her dress was fashion forward. Her cuts accentuate her shapes. I think the letdown on that is that the sash is covering the cutout. That's why you cannot really see the full look of her dress, but it's so good. It's so beautiful. The color complements her skin. So that's really the Marquez signature. Hats off. That's for her. That gown is for her. And as you know, advocacy, wala akong masabi. I cannot say. Mic drop. She's, of course, it's her lifelong advocacy for the autism spectrum, because she has like 2 brothers in this spectrum as well, and because of that she has worked for this project and advocacy for almost her entire life. So it's not a one-time thing that she did for the sake of this competition. So yung the projects that she managed to work hands-on is sustainable. To summarize my top 20 favorites, there you go. We have Dominican Republic, Indonesia, Myanmar, Chile, Pakistan, India, Thailand, Peru, Colombia, Mauritius, For the top 10, we have Angola, USA, Mexico, Nepal, Puerto Rico. For my top 5, we have Venezuela and Brazil. And for my top 3 favorites, we have Nicaragua, South Africa, and Philippines. And between my top 3, I think silang tatlo. There's the 3 people. Any of them is worthy of the crown. So I predict, my personal prediction is that they're the one who's going to be holding hands towards it. So, thank you for listening. Mwah.